This is going to be a tale of two women, which is very unlike Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, which I had to read my senior year of college, and I could not tell you a single thing about this book. But I still know this is very unlike The Tale of My Two Women. This story is about unintentional Bean and intentional Ivy. Tell me you have a third grader without telling me. Also, fun fact, my two plants in my office are named Bean and Ivy because one is an ivy plant, and I'm hoping if I named them that I would try harder to keep them alive. I'm Heather, if we haven't met. I'm the creator of Sprouted Planner, a paper planner and stationery company that I freshly dubbed the mullet of planners because it is meaningful in the front and functional in the rest. Back to Bean and Ivy. Let's walk through a typical day with them, starting with morning.
Bean, our unintentional one, wakes up at the same time as her kids, who are not babies anymore. She flops downstairs with eyes half open, kids wrapped around her, and fumbles through setting up the coffee maker. As it brews, she switches on the TV to Bluey for the kids and strolls through Instagram until she is able to get enough coffee into her to function. By this time, the kids are hangry monsters and she's overstimulated, which turns her blissful caffeine buzz to anxious shakes. She musters up breakfast before it's off to the races. The rest of the morning goes by in a blur with no real plan but filled with snacks, wrangling, and more coffee. Let's switch over to intentional Ivy. She wakes up to her alarm set an hour or so before the kids get out of bed. She puts on her workout clothes and flops downstairs to already brewed coffee, thanks to getting it ready the night before, and setting it to brew 10 minutes before her alarm. She sits down in her favorite comfy chair spot for a few minutes of silence before she reads a chapter from her nonfiction book. After she gets coffee in her, she pulls up today's workout. Nourish Move Love is her favorite follow and gets to work. When her kids wake up, she's already filled up some of her bucket and can greet them with enthusiasm and snuggles and is mentally ready for fighting and whining that will inevitably come. She has set up her morning like this because she values her health, mental and physical, her kids, and her faith, which that book was about. And she values coffee. Amen? Afternoon. Bean stares into the cupboard and then the refrigerator, already too fried to figure out lunch. Her brain almost hurts. She finally decides on something and gets it done. Thankfully, quiet time follows lunch and then some TV time for the kids. While they do this, she picks up the house and then is back on her phone, scrolling. Before she knows it, time is up and the kids beg to go to the playground. She wishes she could nap now. When it's lunchtime for Ivy, she already decided what lunch will be during her planning session from the morning. This not only supports her mental health, but also her physical health, since she decided a balanced option before she was stressed and starving. She gets that whip together, and then it's quiet time, then tablet time for the kids. She spends this time doing a quick house pickup, and then decides to check in, text a few friends, and then call her mom to catch up. While she doesn't feel particularly rested once tablet time is over, she feels good that she connected with some of her people. Evening. Bean is staring down the fridge in utter denial that she has to figure out another meal. Why do we have to eat so much? This decision almost takes her down for the count, but spaghetti to the rescue. After dinner, it's bath time for the kids and then a little bit of movie before bedtime. After the kids are down, she plops down on the couch and binge watches her shows until 11 p.m. when she falls asleep on the couch before dragging herself to bed. When her head hits the pillow, all she can think about is how exhausted she is and how she doesn't know how she'll do it again tomorrow. Her to-do list is still a mile long and she doesn't feel like she did anything worthwhile today. She had a hard time even giving her kids any meaningful time since she felt like she was in catch-up mode the entire time. When Ivy's head hits the pillow, she is exhausted too, but feels fulfilled with the day. She recaps the evening, making the dinner she planned out days ago, giving the kids a bath, and snuggling with them before bed. After bedtime, she set up her coffee, got ready for bed, and tidied up quickly. Then headed to bed where she read her book before her eyes started drooping. She looks forward to her time in the morning.
While these two women were very similar in circumstances, there is one thing that made all the difference for one of them. Intention. Intentional Ivy's day was more fulfilling, and in some ways easier because she decided so many things ahead of time. Even better, many of those decisions flowed from the things she valued most. Now, here is the great part. Bean can easily switch over to doing it Ivy's way once she figures out what her core values are, and then decides what action she's going to take to live out those values, and then make them into a system that will become habitual with a little bit of time. It sounds simple because it actually is that simple. We just get in our own way a lot of the time, honestly. Okay, with zero judgment here, we are in a tree of trust. Who do you most relate to in this scenario? Bean or Ivy? Thank you for spending your precious time watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one when we talk about systems. Speaking of, spoiler alert, our friend Planner makes an appearance. Bye, friends.